What's up, guys? Welcome back to Boost Brothers Garage.
What's going on? Long time no see.
This video, we are down in southern Indiana, our hometown where Zach lives now. Just in town for the weekend visiting, and we thought, well, we might as well do some work on a car while I'm here, right?
Yeah, pulled him over to my shop, and we're gonna make my daily driver not look so much like a soccer mom's car.
Stay tuned.
All right, guys, so I'll just quickly give you the rundown on this thing. If you remember way back, our old school subscribers, I had like a 99 Silverado, piece of shit. Then I had the Cayman, blew the engine. Then I had the M3, it fucking was broke all the time. So I thought to myself, I have to get a car that's gonna run. So I did a little bit of research, and the more and more I saw, well, I will say my criteria was it needs to be able to pull a trailer with a race car. And fit my kids, my dogs. So the more and more research I did, the more and more I saw the Lexus GX470 behind me was becoming extremely popular. This thing is actually based off of a Land Cruiser 150 chassis. They're called the Prado in Australia. And it's basically the big brother to maybe the cousin, but to the 4Runner. So it's a lot more capable than people think off-road. And I really have always kind of been interested in overlanding. So that's kind of my idea behind this thing, is to turn it into a capable vehicle that I can go camping in, go off-road a little bit, and still daily drive it, be comfortable, and it still tows 6,500 pounds, so I can put any race car I need to behind there. And finally, these things are bulletproof. They have the 2UZXY,
2UZ, I think.
2UZXY, I don't know. But it's a 4.7 liter V8, which is another thing that makes it really good over the 4Runner. And it is not uncommon to see these things with 500,000 miles on them. Really only issue is water belt and timing, or water pump and timing belt, and that's about it. So needless to say, today we're gonna make it not look so much like I'm taking my kids to soccer practice.
You started yesterday with getting the windows tinted, which
Yes,
looks way better.
I did, and I did that because we are putting molly panels on the inside of these back windows, and if I did that, they weren't gonna be able to go in tint, so I went ahead and got it done. But the big thing we're doing is we're gonna throw some 33's on this thing, and our stock suspension. I have deleted the rear airbags, but the front is completely stock, and I'll show you. So we're gonna fit these into there. And you're looking like, how are you gonna do that? Well, we're the Boost Brothers. So we're gonna get a damn cutoff wheel, and we're gonna cut this thing to shit.
Before we start the hackery, we need to pull the running boards off. Basically what we're gonna have to do in order to fit these 33's on stock suspension is go in and do a body mount chop. So we actually cut off some of the factory body mount, and then Zach has purchased a reinforcing plate that goes in, and we weld that in. We also have to cut the front bumper and get the running boards off.
So our first snafu, we haven't even taken off the boat yet, but I didn't bring all the tools because. So Michael, while I go get tools to take the running boards off, I'm gonna leave him to tape off and start cutting my front bumper apart to clearance these wheels.
I mean, your front bumper is a real piece of junk anyway.
Yeah, all the paint's chipping off and whatnot. But, I mean, he may just make it a mustache out of it when I get back. I don't know, so.
That's not a bad idea. So I am gonna follow this tape line. I'm gonna cut at the top of the tape line all the way down and around. We're gonna take this lowest portion of the bumper off, as well as make that clearance for the tire, and just give it a overall more aggressive look. The good news is I can't really screw this bumper up any more than it is, considering all the paint is peeling off of it. This is a good option until we get an aftermarket bumper. Wish me luck. Just kidding. I'm supposed to be cutting up here. Well, it's cut. Zach is on his way back from going and getting the tools that we need. I can't pull it off yet because we need to unbolt the inner fender and unbolt the bumper from the bottom of the truck, car, SUV, and then we can bring it down. But one small little issue I've already seen. If you cut along this slight body line right here, you actually expose just a little bit of the aluminum bumper support. Not that big a deal. We'll just have to spray paint it black, or yeah, black probably, and then won't be noticeable. And obviously all this stuff will clean up. Comes right off. All the bolts came out of the running board except for one, so it's time for Zach to go a little He-Man on this thing and rip it out. Just thinking about it.
Hit myself in the leg. Oh, fuck.
Oh man, I feel like this is not how this is supposed to happen. Oh my goodness. You are some sort of special, you know that?
Success! When in doubt,
Saws off.
saws off. Alright, so running board's off. Front bumper is,
That was a much more physical task than it should have been.
yeah,
I feel like people are going to be judging us in this
trimmed.
video.
If people are watching us and haven't judged us by now,
That's a good point.
yeah.
You guys should know better.
Yeah.
When Zach leaves the jack at home, we improvise. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. You're good right there.
And the front bumper,
Coming off. One last bolt.
she may not be pretty. Maybe she'll be aggressive. Holy fuck, that's a big difference. It'd help if my bumper wasn't hammered asshole. I like it. We're gonna have to do some sanding.
All that stuff will come right off.
There we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you want to show them the back wheel you just put on?
We'll wait, maybe. Or yeah, I'll show them. Let's look.
A little sneak peek.
It's a little aggressive. I may have went a little too big. Oh man. Look at that. Would you just look at that? All right.
There's no such thing as too big.
Who says that?
My wife?
Must mean she's with other people.
Yeah.
A sentence?
You might be talking about my belly.
So right now, Mike's chopping away at that body mount to give us enough room so the tire can clear whenever we're turning. And then we bought a filler panel to just go in and fill in that spot after he chops it off. Haha. That's not supposed to happen.
Nah.
We've switched to a cutoff wheel. Ladies and gentlemen, the Milwaukee torch blade
It's pretty legit.
cuts through metal like rubber.
Zach is an absolute professional at not being prepared. And he's like, oh, we'll go to my work. We got welders there and shit. The one welder doesn't have an extension cord, so all of a sudden we're using this great big giant diesel welder, which I've never used. It's also a stick welder, which I haven't done since high school. So this should be interesting.
Good thing I don't care about what it looks like.
By no means is that my best welding job ever, but it's really not nearly as hateful as I thought it was going to be given the circumstances.
I'll take it.
Now we just need to figure out what to do with this excess inner fender, and well, there's a windshield washer bottle that's right there that hangs a little low. It's not going to be the prettiest thing, so
We can paint it.
yeah, we may paint it once we get this hacked off. You know, we don't have to do it tonight, but it's something we'll have to look at. So I guess I'm just going to cut that inner fender real quick, then we can throw this wheel and tire on and drop this side.
Ooh, buddy. All right, let's see what she looks like.
Moment of truth.
Oh my God. What a difference. Oh my God. Cutting that front makes it look so aggressive from the side. How about that angle right there? Man. So these wheels are RRW, Relation Race wheels. They're rather new, and I don't know which exact wheel these are. The RS2s maybe, but they are 17 by 8.5 with a -12 offset.
They're perfect.
Most people do a 0 offset, but man, these things are money. And the tires are, I don't know if we talked about it, Falken Wildpeak AT3Ws in a 285/70/17.
Which is right out of 33.
But yeah, right at a 33. So I'll show you from the side. I mean, they stick out so good.
Perfect.
And that may give you an idea of how much higher it's going to be. So
I think we are going to have to trim this rear bumper though.
yeah, because it just looks silly.
Well, the other night the battery died, and it's been a day and a half. We've driven the car around, and there's a lot of rubbing still on the front tires. The back seems to be okay, but we got to do something about the front. So we're going to try to tackle that now. It looks like the inner fender where it goes over the pinch weld is rubbing. It's actually rubbing on the fender flare, the inside of the fender flare on this side, and just a little bit on the washer bottle on the other side. So right now we're gonna have to cut a little bit more on this fender, and we're gonna have to cut away the inner fender where the pinch weld is and beat that in with a hammer. And at that point we'll see if we still have issues. We got the inner fender pulled out, which it looks like it might just not be able to go back in. But you can see, at least on this side, where the paint's rubbed off right here, it's rubbing here, so we need to cut here, and then it's been hitting this pinch weld. So we're gonna just put a small slice in the pinch weld right here, and then just hammer it flat. Zach, you think this would be any easier if we had it jacked up and had the wheel off? Yeah. This side's not nearly as bad. I'm gonna do the same cuts and hammering. Ultimately, sooner than later, this thing's gonna need front coilovers or some sort of front lift. I mean, obviously because we want to, but also just because right now it's got a lot of front rake, rear rake, front rake. Front sits quite a bit lower than the rear, which is contributing to these issues, obviously, and it just doesn't look quite like we want it. So we're gonna go ahead and do this because ultimately you're gonna need it regardless. We'll get it as good as we can now, and then once the front shocks go on, we won't have any more problems. That pretty well fixed it. There's still just a hair of rubbing on the washer bottle. We'll have to get the car jacked up and the wheels and tires off and kind of finish that that pinch weld that we hammered in, finish it nicely and get it painted. But it's much better now. We're not rubbing every single time we turn the wheel. Overall, it looks 1,000 times better. Well, actually, Zach, what do you think?
I couldn't be happier with it. I love it. I actually think the stance is really good as is, but we do need to get that front end just a little bit because you can see how much difference in gap there is. The front bumper is not the prettiest up close.
Well, we need to sand the edges still.
Yeah, it's functional, but we'll probably be getting an aftermarket front bumper here before too long, and rock sliders are on the short list as well. So overall, I couldn't be happier. I think it takes the soccer mom completely out of it, and it makes it a good all-around everyday driver. I can tow race cars. I can go off-road a little bit if I want. So
I'm shocked how quiet the tires are.
Yeah, and the tires, these are those Falken Wildpeak AT3Ws. A lot of people on the forums recommended them, but they're outstanding. I mean, they're quiet, they're aggressive, so I couldn't be happier with those. All in all, I think for, probably 4 hours total and not very much money on wheels and tires, it's about the best mod you could do. So all right guys, thanks for watching this episode of Boost Brothers Garage, and we'll see you next time.